So this question says O is the center of the circle and the perimeter of triangle AOB. AOB is 6. So we have the perimeter of triangle AOB, which is equal to 6. All right. Now the question now says quantitate the circumference of the circle. So the circumference of the circle, I'll call it C. Circumference of a circle is the same thing as the perimeter of the circle, which is what? 2 pi what? R. And quantity B is 12. Now for us to be able to solve this, we want to calculate the circumference of the circle using, I've always said that whenever we are dealing with quantitative comparison, you use either quantity A to get quantity B, or you use quantity B to get quantity A. So in this case, we are looking for the value of quantity what A, and we are comparing the result with what we have here. So the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Now looking at this particular circle here, basically we need the radius of the circle. So what would be the radius of the circle? That is the distance from the center of the circle to any part along its circumference, right? So definitely this is the radius, this is another what? Radii, right? So if this is a radius and this is another radii, the question now is, how do we now know the value of the radius? Okay, so now for the fact that we have two radii in this particular triangle and we have an angle here, it has automatically turned this particular what? Triangle to a kind of 2-in-1 triangle. Number one, this side is equal to this side, so it implies that this angle will be equal to this angle. To make it easier, let me reproduce the triangle and have a better view of it instead of the way it has been turned. So I'm assuming that this is my triangle, AOB. So let's say this is what? 60 degree here. So let's say this is O. Let's say this is okay, let's say this is B, or let me put this way, let's say this is A and let's say this is B. And of course, if OA is R, so this is R, then OB is another R, this is R. So since these two are the radii, it implies that triangle AOB is an isosceles triangle. Therefore this base angle will be equal, right? And obviously, since this angle here is 60, it has actually changed from being an isosceles to an equilateral triangle. How do I mean? The sum of angle in a triangle is 180. So if the base angle are the same, if A is equal to B, then we can say that what? 60 plus what? A plus what? B is equal to 180 what? Degree. So we can say that 60 plus A, since A is equal to B, is equal to 180 degree. Then we can say that 60 plus what? 2A is equal to 180 degree. Then 2A will be what? 180 minus what? 60. So 2A will give us what? 120 degree. So A will be 120 divided by 2, which is what? 60 degree. And since A is equal to B, then it implies that A is equal to B, which is equal to what? 60 degree. So this is 60 degree, this is 60 degree. Automatically it has transformed it from being an isosceles triangle to an equilateral triangle. It becomes an equilateral triangle because it is only equilateral triangle that has all the three angles equal to 60 degrees. So this is also what? R. So automatically our AB is also equal to what? R. So with this understanding, we can now use this to get our what? Perimeter. And the perimeter of the triangle, so let me shrink this. The perimeter of the triangle AOB is what? 6. And when we say the perimeter of a triangle, basically we are talking about the distance around the what? Down the shape. So this one will now be what? Perimeter is equal to R plus R plus R. I decided to use R here because the length of are the same. So instead, so that implies that this place is also equal to the length of the what? Radii. So this will now be 6 is equal to what? 3 what? R. Divide both sides by the coefficient of R, which is 3. Divided by 3, 3 cancel 3. So R will be 6 divided by 3, which is equal to 2. So the radius which is r of this particular or triangle is what 2, and the length of AB, which is also the same thing as the radius in terms of length, is also equal to 2. So we can therefore use that to calculate the circumference. So the circumference, we can therefore say that C will now be what 2 pi r, which is equal to what 2 times pi times 2, and 2 times 2, that is what 4 pi. Now pi is a constant. How do I know? Pi is what 22/7. So because we are given a whole number here, so we have to evaluate the value of pi. That will be 4 times 22 divided by 7, and 4 times 22 divided by 7 will give us something around 12.547. So with presence of this 0.57, it is obvious that what quantity A is 12.57, which is greater than quantity what B. So the correct answer is quantity A is greater. I want to believe this video has helped someone. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.